rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Yes. Oh, man. We are all here on a beautiful Thursday. I almost said Wednesday. Wednesday was yesterday, folks. It's a beautiful Thursday outside. We've got very nice weather. The birds are chirping. The sun is shining. And the butterflies are fluttering, at least here in downtown Aurora. And we have wonderful guests today. We have the Aurora Public Library Foundation. We have Heather Sturm. We have Christina Campos. And we have Laura Stoney. Hello, ladies.
Good morning.
Claps for everybody. So how's things? How's things with the Aurora, Public Library, the foundation? We got the bookmobile to talk about, right? A lot of things happening. Okay. Give us a little bit of intro with each of you ladies and talk about the town and what you like about the foundation. We'll start with you, Christina.
Well, thank you so much, Curtis. Well, first of all, I would just like to say thank you for having us. So this is exciting. So my name is Christina Campos. I am the Aurora Public Library Foundation president. And so we're here just to share a little bit about what the foundation, which we do, is very different than the other board because we have two different boards at the library. So our role in the foundation is to raise money. And so our focus has been the bookmobile, which Heather's really going to share a little bit more details, the history, what's going to happen with the new one coming aboard. And so that's going to be exciting. So a little bit of everything. But anyway, thank you for having us.
Definitely.
Good morning. Yes, thank you, Curtis, for having us. The foundation was established in 2001. Wow, I think that's 20 years ago. We're having an anniversary.
Hey, all right, not bad.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And it was really established to be the fundraising arm of the Aurora Public Library District. And since 2001, we've been able to do some amazing things for the community thanks to the support of our donors. And I can name a few of those, like the Mini Bee, you might recall, drives around as well and complements the bookmobile. A lot of technology features for STEM and so many different things. And we're very excited to talk to you about the new bookmobile today.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool. A couple of words from you, Heather?
Yep. So I'm Heather Sturm. I'm the Director of Neighborhood Services, which means I get to work at both of the branches and the bookmobile. I started out as the branch manager at Eola Road Branch, and my goal after a couple of years there was to make sure the library was really working well across all locations to serve the whole city of Aurora. The bookmobile is a huge part of that. I'm excited. I know what the interior looks like.
Oh,
yes. So
how do I know?
I'm kind of helping project manage the bookmobile build. So that's been a lot of fun and getting to see the ideas for how we're going to use it in the community. I can't wait for it to get done.
Very cool. So some good mornings to our friends. Mark Hogan, good morning to you, sir, the owner of Tavern on Broadway, 24th North Broadway. Get out there and check out that great place on Fridays. They have fish fry. That's another thing I always wanted to do, have that voice like the old school radio. But anyway, Jennifer Ryan Mayton is here. Good morning, Jennifer Ryan Mayton. One of our favorite people. Great name. And she says, good morning, love Christina Campos. Daniel Barrero is here. Good morning. Hi, Christina.
Good morning.
Daniel Barrero, what's up, sir? Anna Sierra, Anna's Custom Treats, happy Thursday. And Aisha Saxon. Good morning to our dear friends. Here's the thing. It dawned on me when you guys started the raising funds for the bookmobile. Bookmobiles run out. Yeah. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh yeah,
yes,
duh. They might need a new alternator or something.
Exactly.
How long has this one been around? How many miles does it have?
Over 170?
Actually, a little bit over 120.
120, okay.
And the bookmobile that you currently see was put in action in 2003. And you guys might recall it was more of our previous look of red, white, and blue. So we do get the question, well, gosh, now it's more purple and blue, but I will say that's the same bookmobile. It just got a little upgrade a few years ago.
The magic of wraps, right?
Yes.
People are like, I don't want to go because the paints are different. No, it's the same. It's the same bus.
It's the same
yeah.
one. And Curtis, you're so right. It's reached that point where it just it needs to be replaced.
Right.
And we've been delivering literacy with it to all parts of Aurora for a long time. Heather, I think you were saying since 1953, bookmobile.
Yes, the library has had a bookmobile since 19.
Wow. And so we're going to keep that tradition going because the bookmobile brings literacy and other tools to people in our community who really, really need it. So we're grateful that we're getting support for this to keep it going.
Right. Serve both districts, east and west. Now you mentioned the Aurora Eola branch, and for the listeners, that's the one that's over there by Wabanzi High School.
Yep,
Is that
right next door. Yeah.
The bookmobile serves that community?
Absolutely,
as well?
yes.
Wow.
Some of our most popular stops are actually in the northeast corner of the city, Brooks Elementary, and some of those, I want to say, planned housing developments that are kind of up near Fermilab.
Okay.
So hugely popular up there, and it just makes it a lot easier for people to get to the library without having to drive across town. So.
Yeah, that's very helpful. So Norma Peterson says, good morning, hey gang, hey Christina. Christina got the most amounts of, there's two other people here, you guys. Laura's here and Heather's here. But Dan Barrero tells us that he loves the Aurora Public Library, and he used the bookmobile as a kid, and it was it was great in the summer time to check out books.
Yep.
So will this new one have like a portable coffee machine or something? What's any bells and whistles you can debut, or got a Keurig in there or something?
Actually, we hadn't thought about that. Maybe
That's
we need
great.
to add
We didn't
that.
even think
now,
about
see that?
it.
We've got
I
time.
love it. So continue bringing your ideas. I think that's why it's called a community. Bringing your ideas, something that it's outside of the box that we didn't think about. So that's great. Thank you.
If you put the Keurig in there, just put a Good Morning Aurora sticker on it so people know where that came from. All right, so we do have the local headlines for you guys too. We'll get to those in just a second. But also, I wanted to ask, now Sergeant Weaver from Aurora Police Department was in one of the promotional flyers I saw with you guys, and he told a story about the library. What was his experience? Can you detail some of that?
He, we all know, is just amazing, in Aurora. And he grew up here, and the bookmobile played a really, favorable part of his life. He was telling us that it used to stop right in front of his house, and he and his brother would be so excited, and they'd wait for it, and they would be able to run out and, check out books and do fun things such as, story times and that right there. And so when we asked him if he would, consider telling his story, he was more than happy to. And just to give a little background, in 2019 is when we started the Bookmobile campaign, and some folks will remember that Sergeant Weaver was our MC at our auction event, which the proceeds were supporting the new Bookmobile. And then in 2020, as we all know, the pandemic really hit all of our lives, and we put the campaign on hold and started, figuring out what could we do to support Aurora. And so I do have to do a shout out to Christina and the board, because the entire board is volunteers, and they said, we need to get literacy out there, even though the Bookmobile right now can't deliver it. So we started doing literacy packets and partnered with the Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry and the Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry. And it was amazing to work with them, and we're very grateful. But then as 2021 approached, the board said, you know what? We really need to get back and focus in on that Bookmobile campaign. So we reached out to Sergeant Weaver again, and yes, he's in one of our videos, and I'll make sure on social media those links are out there again, and please check them out. They're pretty cool.
Yes, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Sergeant Weaver, he's the guy singing Tina Turner and all that in the vehicle. He's hitting those notes pretty good. A singing police officer who loves books.
Who loves books.
Only in Aurora, folks. Only in Aurora. Okay, now also Karen Caputo says books and coffee. She loves that idea.
Okay.
All right.
We'll
It's
keep
going
it in
on the
mind.
list
All right,
then.
all
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
So let's give a little bit of local news real quick, and then we will get back to our discussion with our dear friends here of the Aurora Public Library Foundation. Art Comes Alive, a teen art exhibition created by the Alive Teen Center here in Aurora in conjunction with Viso Arts. Will display the creativity of local youth. All artwork will be submitted by local teens and artists to be put on display at Gallery 1904 at 1 East Benson for the community free of charge. Teens in grades 6 through 12 can submit up to 2 pieces of artwork for the art exhibition. Submissions are free and are due by September 24th. There is a Google form to share. We shared this on Tuesday for you guys. I will make sure that you get it again because it's kind of long and wonky, and if I put this in here, it'll just clog up the chat. So you know I got your back, my dear people. Once again, it's called Art Comes Alive. If you know any youngsters who can draw, get their attention. Also, our friends of Loaves and Fishes are hiring for a bilingual coordinator. Now, hold on, let's back it up. One of the cool things about this show, and you listeners know that, is that people have gotten jobs by listening in. Oh yeah, they have done that, you know? So if you are listening, and I know that you are, full-time Loaves and Fishes Community Services Department is hiring a program coordinator, bilingual English and Spanish. Report to the Associate Director of Programs, and it is an hourly position. Amongst the duties and responsibilities are coordinating the flow of clients for daily program appointments and keeping program binders and materials up to date at the program desk. Sounds like fun. You must be flexible to work occasional evenings and occasional weekend, excellent verbal communication skills, and Spanish bilingual. And you have to lift up to 20 pounds. I know y'all can do that, right? Yeah, we got it. Hey, okay. All right, so that is Loaves and Fishes. Please get in contact with Loaves and Fishes by emailing azediker@loavestagfishes.org. The time is now 8:15 a.m. Okay. Favorite books. Let's go there. People need to get the flavor, right? So let's start with you, Laura. What is your favorite book, or the best book that you're thinking about right now?
Okay, I am really sort of a Harry Potter fan.
Okay.
So certainly have read all those, but listen to the audio book, you guys. Amazing. I also have the opportunity, I work in the Children's Center every Tuesday afternoon, the Kiwanis Children's Center at Santori Library. And it's kind of fun to see that some of the books from, when we were little, like Charlotte's Web and Stuart Little and Thomas the Tank Engine, which was one of my son's favorites, they're still very popular. And it's nice to sometimes sit down and read those to the kids in the Children's Center.
Yeah, that continuity. Yeah, it's amazing. Christina?
I love Latino literature.
Okay.
So for me, it will be House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros.
Okay.
So definitely, and what I find that's so special is when you go to a library or the bookmobile, just that book in your hand is powerful. You touch the cover, you turn the pages, the texture, the colors. And so I think that's really special, and that's so important. And for my daughters, what we used to read so much was Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. I love that one.
Okay.
Or The Hungry Caterpillar. And so those were two that were favorite at our house.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, asking a librarian what her favorite book is sort of a evil thing to do.
Is
We
it?
can't pick.
Oh, no.
We can't pick. But I read a lot of sci-fi, and I'm going to put a plug in for the Murderbot Diaries.
Okay.
Which is a great series. They're pretty short books about a human bot construct. I think, kind of explains itself. But I actually read a lot of digital. I read ebooks, and I like to download and listen to audiobooks from the library's online providers. So you can find those on Overdrive or Libby is the other name.
Right. The library has a lot of free audiobook resources. I mean, the last time I was
Yes.
upstairs in that part of it where the study labs are, you know, that was one of the kiosk kind of things right there by the printer.
Right.
And I remember the gentleman up there, I can't remember his name, but I love that guy. He was like, hello, my friend. Check out the books. I was like, okay, well, I like to read, you know, the audiobooks. I'll get to it. But yeah, it's an impressive collection, definitely. All right. My favorite
Curtis,
book-
I'm going to cut you off. You didn't share what's your favorite book.
You know, this is the fun thing about doing this show, because I was gonna just move on, right?
No, I got to.
My favorite book is a book called Maniac McGee by an author named Jerry Spinelli. I read it in 4th grade, and I've been reading it my whole life. I love that book. I've read it over 25 times. Comfort book at this point in time. It's a wonderful book. It's by Jerry Spinelli. This is I'll date myself. There used to be a flyer that came out with all the books, and you'd pick them and then go on Fridays.
Yeah, Scholastic Book Fair. Yeah.
Scholastic Book Fair. That's
Yep.
right. And I remember that it was one of 3 choices that I had. You know, a couple, and I looked and I was like, Jerry Spinelli, Maniac McGee. The cover was just 2 feet running down a thin railroad track. I looked at the back. Oh, Maniac McGee had problems. Okay, I'll read this book. It's an excellent book. I recommend that book to anyone. Great book about youthful upbringing and disposition and community. Great book. Well, thanks for putting me on the spot. I appreciate that. All right. So Anna Sierra says her kids love the book. Jennifer Ryan Mayton says House on Mango Street, good book. And Bianca Camargo's here. Good morning, Bianca. Okay. So Foundation is here to raise money for the Bookmobile and other initiatives for the library. Okay.
Yes.
What other events has the foundation done that people may be familiar with here in Aurora? Because you guys have been around for a while.
We have, and over the years, it's been pretty exciting to see the different things that we can do because people are willing to support the foundation. And some of our key events, one's in action right now, and I'll turn it to Christina, is our 5K event, and all the proceeds go to benefit the Bookmobile as well as the literacy packets that we were speaking about. But before I turn it to Christina, please mark your calendar for September 23rd and September 25th. Remember how Heather said she knows what the interiors look like? Well, we are going to unveil those.
How do I know?
And we're pretty excited about that. On the 23rd, it'll be at the Santori Library in the Dunham Atrium. And we are also going to honor the Dunham Foundation because they awarded us a grant that has really gotten this effort off the ground. And on the 25th, we'll be at the Water Street Square Farmers Market. There's going to be bubbles. There's going to be some food. There's going to be music. It's going to be exciting. So come on out, you guys. And now I'm going to turn it to Christina for what we're doing right now.
Oh, thank you. And I'll just share, part of the reason why I'm on the board, it's because it really touched my heart. Because when I was a young child, the Bookmobile came to my school. I went to Brady School on the east side. My mom didn't drive at that time. We couldn't go to the library. So having that Bookmobile right at the school on a weekly or monthly base, however it was great. So that's really important. The other part is the library and the Bookmobile is for everyone. It's just not for, adults or something just for children. It's a very well-rounded for everyone. For seniors, I'll share another little story. I love to tell stories. My father wanted to, take a little bit more computer classes and so forth. And so I'm like, Dad, let's sign you up. At the library, they have this, and it's in Spanish. He's like, okay. So I signed him up and I walked him to the classroom. I felt like I was a parent because I had to walk him in the classroom. I had introduced him to his teacher. Then I went out in the little foyer, reading my own books. So that was really nice. So again, it's so well-rounded because it's for everyone, all ages, and has so many different opportunities. But at this point, we're really excited because with our 5K walk or run, however you like to do that, it's for everyone again. And it's not just in Aurora. You can, sign up online. You can do it in your own, other state, other city. So it's not just an Aurora thing. Or if you can't make it or something, you know what? You can make a donation. You can do that too. You can go online and you can do that. So that's really cool. So, we are actually, I'm wearing my t-shirt today. It's purple. And our sponsors are in the back. We are very much appreciated. But it is, it's for a week. It ends on Monday. And a great opportunity for your family and friends. Get a group of people and walk or run. It could be around the block. It could be, go to one of our park districts. Go around, walk around the library. In your house, you know what I mean? So whatever it is, walk your dog, your grandchildren. Again, it's a family event and a great opportunity. So please still join us. You get some really cool stuff and a really cool bag with goodies inside, and just overall, it's a great cause. So please come and join us.
The weather's gonna be nice this weekend too, so you should definitely, folks, get out there, get some sweat equity in, or make a donation.
That is correct.
Now the farmers market, are you gonna be you'll be there as well,
Yep.
so we can eat and read a book and talk to you guys.
Yep.
Because we love food on this show. We really do. Okay, so a couple more quick things to talk about before we get back to the discussion with our friends of the Aurora Public Library Foundation. Do not forget, you are invited on October 8th to Bridge Bash. Our friends of the Neighbor Project, Building Bridges with Our Neighbors, are having a great outdoor event at Mundy Park, beautiful Mundy Park in downtown Aurora, right next to the venue. This will be live entertainment. There will be food. There will even be bags, not just plastic bags, the game. Also known as cornhole or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bags is a way better name. Bags will be out there. There will be a lot of good stuff. You guys can make a donation as well. The Neighbor Project has a lot of community initiatives going on, such as home ownership programs and the Network Savings Program, where folks can, a portion of your rent goes to a down payment for a home. One of the goals of the Neighbor Project is to increase home ownership in traditionally marginalized populations. Let me clap for myself because I got that out.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you. Sometimes I mess up on the show that we all take a community sip of coffee, but I got that one out pretty good, you guys.
You
All
did
right.
good.
So it is 8:25 a.m. Don't forget Bridge Bash, October 8th, 32 South Broadway in downtown Aurora. Okay, it's also Suicide Awareness Month. Our friends of Happy Thoughts Suicide Awareness Month and Simply Destiny are two local organizations here to help you or anyone who has any questions, problems, or is looking for resources in regards to mental health awareness. We shared a post yesterday with Happy Thoughts information, and also our interview with Martin Luna and Denise Ellsbury is on our Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. So check that out at your leisure. Okay. Good morning to you, Tracy Duran. So, what next? Can we get some stats? Do we have any stats? How many children have been positively impacted by the bookmobile, and how many kids are at risk because they don't have access to a bookmobile?
Great question. And we're fortunate to team up with Spark in Aurora, strong, prepared, and ready for kindergarten. And in working with Trish Rooney and her crew, we know that one child in 4 are not ready for kindergarten. So we work together to try and bridge that gap. And again, with the bookmobile delivering literacy, we're able to reach Aurora's most vulnerable children. And the bookmobile really serves a minimum of 20% of those kids that we might identify as needing the most help in being ready for school. So those are your youngsters. but we also serve, as Christina was saying, the whole community. So we serve the elderly by going to different assisted and independent sites. We work with immigrants in our community. One of our strategic priorities is called Welcome to America. And so that's a really important component of our efforts. And I'm going to turn it over to Heather for further comments, but I just want to make one more that goes back to the new bookmobile. That to construct the new bookmobile, it costs, we're estimating, $2.75 per mile. It's a green bookmobile, you guys. I hope I'm saying that right. Heather knows the exact terms, the lithium battery. So we anticipate through our vendor that the new bookmobile will last a minimum of 160 to 175,000. So we think it's pretty cool that it's $2.75 per mile. We've funded 101,000 miles. And so that means we have 59,000 more miles to reach our goal for what is needed to finish constructing the bookmobile. But I know you have some stats too, Heather.
Well, kind of, yeah. So the bookmobile for years has done classroom visits in District 131 elementary schools. And COVID kind of threw a little bit of a wrench into that. We're getting back to it this year, though, and kids really rely on those bookmobile visits to get reading, pick out their own books, which is so important for kids to get to have control over what they read. And then, just to have books that are for reading for fun. It helps practice, it helps create fluency for readers. And it's just something that kind of empowers kids. So we're glad that we can be back to classroom visits. In addition to D131, we've started visiting some schools in 129. So that's kind of reaching out to earlier learners, the preschool programs in District 1. So a lot of kids. The bookmobile is not going to have, the new bookmobile is not going to have a diesel generator. So our current bookmobile has a diesel generator to provide power when where it stops. And that's actually one of the things that we have to go off-road for service pretty frequently. If your diesel generator stops working, you can't take the bookmobile out, which is a bummer. It's also kind of noisy and it can be kind of stinky. And when you're a little kid, that's not always something that makes you happy about being on the bookmobile. So
trying to learn math and it smells like eggs in here.
Right, exactly. It's not great. So for the new bookmobile, we are having installed, instead of a diesel generator, a battery system. And I'm really excited about that. I think that it'll make for a much better visiting experience for everybody. But I think especially for smaller kids, they stand kind of in line waiting for their turn to get on the bookmobile. They won't have to listen to the engine and they won't have to be sniffing. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Now, we already know that COVID was a huge, or rather had a huge negative impact in the city, period.
Right.
But what kind of, specifics did COVID affect foundation activities? But you guys are separate from the library, so I guess right. I would guess the day-to-day rigors of checking out a book for folks or opening the maker space, you guys weren't affected by that. But what were the specifics that COVID did to affect the foundation?
Specifically, Curtis, what we found is just how generous people are. As I was commenting before, Christina, with her leadership and the board, they determined we needed to halt the bookmobile campaign so that we could focus in on community need that COVID was really making very challenging for people. And so again, Christina said, hey, we need to deliver literacy, but we're going to need partners to do it. And so the whole board, we worked together to figure out how we can do that. And it was really rewarding to see the kids when they would get their literacy packet, and would open that up, and there were books or crayons. We did small motor skill tools. Christina would read each of the books and post them in English and Spanish on all the different social media sites so that parents could have the book read to their child via their phone if that's the only access they had to social media sites. And we had feedback that, that was really great. And another cool thing I think that came out of the literacy packets was that we had feedback that English as a second language, the parents were using the books to help with their English skills. So that was pretty neat. So
the book was bilingual, and I think that was important. So as parents, we're going to our local food pantry, because you couldn't get out of your vehicle, how they used to do it in the past. They would go inside and do their own shopping.
Right.
Well, it was a drive-by things. All their volunteers from the food pantry would, put that box of their meals. But what was on that box too was that package.
Right.
And so what a great opportunity to have a sit-down dinner, which I think at that time we've all missed that, where you actually had to sit down as a family, have your meal. But after that, how powerful to read your book.
Right.
And the children reading to their siblings or parents. So it was a great opportunity for everyone to enjoy that book. And being bilingual, that is powerful.
Yeah.
You mentioned social media, or rather putting the activities on your social media sites. I got a question for you. Has social media hindered or helped augment learning and education amongst young people? What do you guys think?
I think we've learned a lot about what we can provide. I know that our online story time really love being able to go back and watch, either repeat.
Right.
A lot of kids like repetition. That's, again, part of learning is repetition. It also makes it more accessible. So, if you can't make it to the library at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, but we've got an online story time, you can watch it on your phone later at bedtime or whatever. In some ways it's been really helpful. And I think it's best when it's engaging, where you're, doing an activity along with it. This kind of a program where you're responding where.
That was a great answer.
Can I add a little something for kids and families that have online access? It's awesome. But we know in Aurora, a large number of our families don't have that online access. And so COVID-19, with remote learning and all those sort of detriments, they weren't able to access the story times and the other library services. So again, that's where we tried to address some of those needs. But we know in Aurora that that was a very challenging thing for a lot of our families. So we want to keep making sure that we embrace everyone in the way that we can help them with knowledge and information.
The bus has Wi-Fi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, good. I saw kids were going to like Portillo's or McDonald's, sitting in the parking lot in mom's car just to get the Wi-Fi to do.
Yeah,
What is that's sad. That
really
is
hard. Yeah,
that is. It just like that's terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kids you should definitely be able. I think internet access should be provided.
Yep. Not just internet access, but broadband. It needs to be high speed.
You need It should just be part of the package.
Yep.
This is a good episode. All right. The time is now 8:36 a.m. So now, when it comes to the lacing up for literacy and all the stuff that you ladies are doing, are we back to full capacity? Yeah, or full blast with library activities?
We are.
Okay.
So the library reopened with, like all of us, we had lots of mitigations last summer. But over the last year, we've slowly brought everything back. We've got in-person programming going again now, which everyone's really missed. And you don't have to make appointments to come to the library anymore. You can drop in any time to browse and pick out something to read or use a computer. So definitely back to full. And the bookmobile's on the road again and working on doing school visits again, like I said. So
Do they have a
look for it.
garage?
Yes, we do actually have a garage.
Okay. These are the weird things I think about.
Good
Like, where do they put it at? Y'all protect it? Yeah.
Yes, it does. It has a home. It goes and parks at night. So
Okay.
it helps the bookmobile live longer when it's not sitting outside all the time.
That's right, exposed to the elements and everything. Okay. Karina Suarez Dart, a dear friend of ours, says, Christina, thank you for all you do for the community. And Daniel Barrero says, when will the new bookmobile be in service?
So, like a lot of things, we've had a few hiccups with supply chain issues. Our vendor is having some trouble getting some of the parts and things we need. But we are looking at getting the bookmobile early next summer. Originally, we hoped to have it this winter. So there's been a little bit of a delay, but we'll be even more excited then when it arrives. So,
What I would like to plug about the bookmobile is it's just not going to your schools. Participates in the parades.
yeah.
It participates in neighborhood events.
Yeah.
So it's well-rounded. And I think that's what makes it so special.
Yeah.
Because people can identify it. Oh, there it is. It was the 4th of July parade. And so it's just really cool.
Yeah, it was at this last parade. It
Yep.
was at the last parade,
It was nice.
coming across the bridge. You can't miss it. I was out. It was so hot that day.
It was.
Oh my gosh. So I'm
was
out
very
there
warm.
filming, and the bookmobile's coming down. I'm on the steps of the GAR filming, and it just so happened that the light kind of blinged at the right moment as the big, huge bookmobile was coming, kind of temporarily blinded me and everything. But it's a nice sight because I think people really, we got, as we can see in the chat, we got a lot of fans of the bookmobile. A lot of the fans were there on the same day and got to see it, almost touch it, but got to envision it in the flesh, so to speak.
Hey, Curtis.
Yeah.
One thing we would love to do, Heather mentioned that the bookmobile started serving Aurora in 1953. And some of our folks out there may remember the bookmobile called Gertie. Or somebody else may remember that when the first bookmobile came, it was so unusual that people actually tried to pay the driver because they thought it was like an actual bus that was driving them around. And we are so hopeful that your audience would send us their bookmobile memories. I know Dan was saying he remembers it, from his childhood. We'd like to put together a little bookmobile memory booklet, if you will, and would love to hear from the community, all their great stories about why the bookmobile has meant so much to them. And we'll make sure you have the information on how to give those. I'll give them to Curtis afterwards, but please, because it's been fun listening to Christina, and we know so many of you have great memories. We'd love to hear them.
Right, yeah. So you heard it, guys. If you have good memories of the bookmobile, if you've got pictures from back in the day, get all of those wonderful nostalgic memories of our beloved bookmobile, gather them, and then we will send those to our friends here and make a nice collage, show some life out of that.
Exactly, and it could be even one of the first kind of pieces of the new bookmobile collection where people can come scope it out. So let us know.
And we're going to have a time capsule too on the new bookmobile.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
So there might be
coffee,
some-
books, and a time capsule. Come on now.
You're going to be there on opening day,
I
right?
will be there, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys, real quick. Told you about October 8th. I told you about the Alive Teen Center. Let me tell you about my dear friends of NAMI KDK. And this qualifies as breaking news. That's one of the things I definitely wanted at the beginning of the show, way back when I was telling you when we started. I was like, I gotta get like a nice MSNBC kind of, and we got it. Okay. Mental health matters. Don't forget that NAMI KDK is still looking for volunteers. The mission of NAMI is to provide free mental health education, support, and advocacy for individuals, family members, and communities. If interested, please contact the program's coordinator at infor@namikdk.org. That's INFOR@namikdk.org. Also, the 5th annual Cubs Broad Drive will be happening this year at the Aurora Regional Fire Museum from 5 to 8 p.m. on October 1st. Music, local vendors, and a photo booth. This will be an awesome community event, support a great cause in downtown Aurora. And yes, my dear friend Anna Sierra, that link for the other one, I will put that in the chat for the Alive Teen Center. I'll make a post of that later on, my friend. Okay, and lastly, October 15th, which is a Friday, that'll be a great night. Our friends of Mutual Ground are hosting their Black and White Ball from 6 to 11 p.m. at Hotel Arista, located at 2139 Citygate Lane in Naperville. Mutual Ground supports everyone, and because it's a Black and White Ball, all participants and guests must wear black and white or shades of black and white, including silver. I told you, don't be the guy coming there with a red tie. Oh, don't do it. I don't care how nice it is. Okay, and actually, I'm sorry, that's not the last one, guys. I would be remiss. That's the word of the day. I'd be remiss if I did not tell you about the Kane Senior Council. They are in need of volunteers as well. The Elgin location at 101 South Grove Street needs assistance in delivering hot meals every Monday through Friday to seniors. Experience, maturity, and wisdom. Kane Senior Council does a lot to improve the quality of life of our seniors in Kane County. Help these folks out by volunteering. For more information, call 630-338-0999. The number again is 630-338-0999. All right, the time is now, what time is it? It's 8:44 a.m. All right. So, what did we miss? What did we miss? Did we miss anything? We told people to run. We told them to walk. We told them to crawl.
Well, they can dance, too.
They can dance.
On December 4th, we're having a dueling piano gathering, auction party. And again, proceeds will, benefit literacy and the bookmobile. But you guys mark your calendar, December 4th. You can wear whatever you want. And if you haven't been to a dueling piano show before, I think you'll be in for a wonderful treat. It's a lot of fun. There'll be great food. And just join us and help make the bookmobile a reality for Aurora. That would be awesome.
And having that party in the library, which is nice. I mean, it's nice to support our local vendors and, all the wonderful places that we get to have. But when you have a party in the library, let me tell you, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So it's a little different element. So come and join us.
It's like that movie, remember that movie where the guy, who was it, Nicolas Cage, where he's locked in the museum or something at night? What is that?
Oh, gosh, Ben Stiller, right?
Is it Ben Stiller?
Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, let me tell you something. I've been to Field Museum of Science and Industry. I've always kind of fantasized a little bit man, it'd be cool to be locked in here at night. That would be awesome. Party in a library or a other institution of higher learning. That'd be awesome. Really cool.
That would be a lot of fun.
Dueling pianos. Didn't they play downtown with Blue Man Group?
Well, they may have. That's not the actual name of the company or the group that's doing it. It's just the concept of the dueling pianos. And we didn't really see that was something that Aurora had an opportunity to attend in the past. So we're trying to make that a reality and a lot of fun. It's like, Curtis, have you ever been to I'm going to say it a bar where they do the dueling pianos?
No.
So I'm thinking before December, go try one of those out and you'll see it's just a whole really fun show that gets the audience involved. And we think it fits well. We can really keep it a safe environment with COVID because you're not just out all mingling around. And so we put a lot of thought into making sure our community is safe, but also can have fun and support the bookmobile. And I know Christina and Heather, we all want to thank, as I mentioned, we've raised so far $280,000 of the $438,000 for the new bookmobile. And wow, we're really grateful for that. And we know the community really sees that the bookmobile is an important part of our whole culture. So You guys want to add anything?
I'm going to mention September 23rd again. So
9/23.
9/23. I don't know if we said we're going to reveal the interiors 9/23. So you'll get pictures of what the new bookmobile is going to look like inside. And then we'll do that again at the farmers market, at the bookmobile's normal stop at the farmers market on the 25th. So if you can drop by either one of those events, you can get a sneak peek of what the library's new bookmobile is going to look like. So.
And at 10 a.m. for both of those events,
Yes.
by the way.
And I'm excited to show it off. I think it's colorful, fun, bright,
Wow.
Do you want to
flexible.
share a little bit already? What's
Can we get a sneak
little
peek?
just
Oh, well, Laura,
just so
Well,
that way it really has us thinking. It's like, oh, I got to make sure put that on the calendar.
Right.
I have to
Yeah.
be there.
Heather and her crew really worked hard to get community input. There were 3 different color schemes and a lot of input again. And so we're going to tell you which color choice on the 23rd. We're not leaking out any info, right,
Okay.
I
Christina?
tried.
Sorry, Christina.
You mentioned the Dunham Atrium,
Yes.
which is the front part of the Santori branch when you walk in right there in the
Yep.
bottom.
That's correct.
So named. But when did it become the Dunham Atrium? When was that done?
When we were in the construction phase of the new main library, which I cannot believe it's already 6 years old, we moved into our current site in 2015. And again, a lot of so many generous people participated in helping. We raised $5 million for the new main library campaign. And again, the Dunham Foundation supported that effort, and we were just, honored to name the atrium John C. Dunham Atrium, and the flag that is hung near the west entrance. So when you guys come visit the library, that was Mr. Dunham's flag that flew at the White House at one point in time.
The White House.
Yes.
The Washington, D.C. White House.
Yes, and we have like his certificate, and so it's just it was just an honor to do that, and we know that the Dunham Foundation has supported so many of our organization's efforts, and so we're thankful, and seemed appropriate to honor the Dunham Foundation in the John C. Dunham Atrium.
Shouts out to Vicky Morcos.
Absolutely.
Friend of the show. All right, so Tracy says that her favorite memory of the bookmobile. So they're contributing right
Yes.
now.
That's
All right.
awesome. Thank you. They're thanking. That's awesome.
All right, so her favorite memory of the bookmobile is from the early 80s. They would visit Gates School, and she always wanted to check out Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. Every time it was always checked out by someone else, and she was always so sad about it. Then finally, a long time later, she finally had the chance to check it out from the bookmobile. It was a banner day for her, the holy grail for an 80s kid.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Tracy.
sharing.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Tracy. Okay, so talked about 923, talked about 924, we talked about 925. The time is 8:51. See how I did what? I know. I don't tell many jokes on the show. But final thoughts about the community, education, literacy, and youth before we wrap it up from you ladies. Christine, I know you're involved in a whole lot of stuff, including Family Focus, and you just had a mental health wellness event last night. So you guys know the flavor of the city. Give us some final thoughts before we wrap it up.
Well, first of all, thank you. I'd like to say this, and thank you to the public. That's really great because I think it's so well-rounded of all the great things the whole community is doing, different organizations, and I think that's the great partnership that we have with the library as well, because we all connect in one way or another. So just come, still support the library. A donation, any amount is so appreciated. And I think it's just getting everyone excited about it. What color, what exactly does it look like inside? So I think, you really have to come and join us.
Education is just key to everybody's well-being. And the Aurora Public Library District is a partner in that educational continuum for all of our residents. And we really love working with the different school districts, as Heather was mentioning. And we know, again, that the Bookmobile really reaches the audience that has a difficult time getting to one of the library sites. So it's such an honor to work on such an important effort. But again, it's done with a lot of partnerships with other agencies in Aurora. The Bookmobile, gosh, I had asked the crew back in 2019, who are all the Bookmobile partners? And I think they gave me a list of like 21 different groups, because things like, story time in the parks, that came with I believe the Northern Illinois Food Pantry providing lunch to kids who, again, were challenged with hunger. So call us anytime. We'd be happy to sit down and explain to you just how collaborative everything that the library does with our community and others who provide services. So, Heather, lots of partners, right?
Lots of partners. I mean, the library's goal really is to help connect people to information, to other people, to whatever resources they might need to be successful in the way that they want to be successful. It doesn't have to be any particular thing, just whatever's important to you. And, if you haven't had a chance to be on the Bookmobile or see the Bookmobile, find it and check it out. It's a lot of fun. The staff who work on that Bookmobile, that is all they do, is outreach. And their job is to form those connections with the community and serve people where they need to be served. So whether you're at an elementary school or in a housing facility or in a neighborhood that's just kind of far from your nearest branch, the Bookmobile works to be there. And that's what the library wants to continue to do, and continue to reach out to folks and make sure that you have.
Well, on behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we appreciate you ladies coming on. And that reminded me about Storytime in the Park. Fabiola Dunsing of the library. Got to give Fabiola a shout out for all the hard work that she's doing. She was a guest on Buenos Dias Aurora. The Reading in the Park. I think August 19th was the last one, and we had been highlighting that here for folks to take part in that. So, shouts out. You guys got a great staff.
Yes,
We
terrific
do.
staff.
Yeah.
They do.
Great group of people.
I gotta say this though, a brother tried to get a job there a long time ago. Nobody ever called me back. This is way before Good Morning Aurora. I was trying to do anything there. I was like, I'll be a librarian. I wanted to work there. It's such a nice place. It really is. It's just calm. It's beautiful. The staff is really nice, and I really like the maker space.
Yeah.
The maker
Really,
space
yes.
I've always felt was I always felt I would go there and there was nobody in there. Just the worker, the young guy. And it was just very impressive. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. Okay. It's 8:56. We hope that you guys enjoyed this wonderful show today, this great episode with our team here. We appreciate you ladies on the foundation too. Check out the save the dates, 9/23, 9/24, 9/25. Ready for a brand new Bookmobile.
Yep.
Donate.
Make a donation,
Make a
participate
donation.
in
Run.
our run. Absolutely.
Anything. Push-ups, whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
All right. On behalf of Good Morning Aurora, you guys have a great, safe, wonderful Tuesday out there.
Thank you, everyone.
you.
Have a good day. you.